Hello again. Alright, we're back with my Roadrunner mission, and this time I wanted to show you guys a tutorial of how the Viggen works in this mission. It's a bit different, and there are some tricks, tips, and honestly some hacks to get Viggens landing on road bases without tills, without the normal landing system you would normally have. At the moment we still don't have ground placeable Viggens, so we're going to fly from Batumi and land at each of these bases and do some engagements as well, so you get an idea of how it all comes together. I still think the Viggen is the best module for this mission, but you've now got a chopper base as well. We'll put every chopper we have in the game so far. I'll be adding Mi-24s and Apaches and whatnot as they come out as well, and the Kiowa. So we should have everything. But at the moment we've just got the Gazelle, Kamov, and Mi-8, Huey. It's all there. I've swapped the SAMs a bit. I found the SA2 was kind of making this a bit too dicey for some people, so I moved it around. We have an SA3 that covers most of Gali, and it's probably a good candidate to be taken out pretty early because it does really restrict your ability to fight here. The SA3, to my mind, is a scarier SAM than the SA2, more agile, and you sort of wind up deeper into its threat zone when it fires. But yeah, I've put some Grishas, some frigates out here to really protect this area too, almost like pickets. And I have I've added again the CVN, the carrier group down here. They will permit you to take Hornets out again. Again, that's more of a fix until we have ground placeable assets, and I'll put the Hornets back here, or maybe even on the red bases. Final note, I added the heavy wind for people who want to try landing Harriers on that. Speaking of dicey. Alright, into the Viggen. Let's go. Usual sort of instructions here have all been updated too. They should be correct. I imagine you guys will be playing on an even more modern version by the time you get to it. So this is Hotel, so 2.3H. Thanks for the feedback too. I'm getting emails and really enjoying the sort of the back and forth on making this mission everything it can be. I'll put the email address in the description too. So let's have a quick look. So Viggens. So we have to fly from Batumi at the moment, but yeah, I'll change that soon. Ooh, that's quite loud. Okay, first thing we're going to do is let the grass load in. Okay, drop the volume a bit so you guys can hear me over the... There we go. And I'll hear in helmet too. Okay, so quick startup as we normally do. We want snick, snap, snip. Other snub and oop. And the starter switch. One tip too, you may find it handy to leave that beeping. It's annoying, but it does stop beeping when the computer turns on. That way you don't have to kind of watch the computer when it turns on, but I'll leave it off for your insanity. We're going to leave our lights off as usual. And we're carrying rockets. Attack. We're going to unsafe these so I'm not fidgeting if I need to drop them soon. And seat. Oh yeah, and the mournful cry of the Viggen canopy going down. Okay. I'll just play with my track IR while I'm here. So, it's dawn at the moment, so it's still pretty dark, but I'm going to show you a quick trick for landing one of these things with minimal visibility of the road base. Or at least getting you closer. Oxygen on, input 9099, computer's on. I'm also going to disable, so 580 should disable the turn-nav system. Let's just see if it's done that. Yeah, I think so. Usually if that's output, yeah, okay. Okay, nav, I'll just turn on the mirrors too so it doesn't look all funky. Yes, this has really been saving my bacon up here. Remember in Harriers to disable your chocks. Alright, and in classic Swedish fighter jet fashion, we are up and running in less than a minute. Oh, we're packing rockets, by the way. Much like in the Harrier, I really prefer using heavy rockets for this sort of mission. So I won't fire off the mission just yet. It'll be in standby mode. I want to do one landing at a road base just so you get an idea of how it's going to look. I'll pick Dublin because it has some really clear features. But as we fly, we should build up some degree of navigation error. And you'll find this elsewhere, but you can really see the navigation error as the last 2 digits on your CK-37. The first digit being the status of the turn nav, and the last digit being the amount of perceived error, or guessed error, I guess. That's covered better in other places, but basically turn nav is an automatic system using essentially the same thing in Tomahawk cruise missiles to automatically refix the navigation system of the Viggen, which is pretty groovy even today, honestly. Powering up. Let's get out of here. Again, we can use the building lines here to tell us when to take off, ensuring our takeoff roll is pretty straight because we use that to adjust the compass, and that just happened then. And start to rotate. Try and keep your flight path marker below the gates. That'll ensure a nice smooth takeoff. Gear up. And I'm going to run it pretty quick because I don't want to waste your time too much. Ooh, what's happening up here at the... I suppose that's about right. A bit gloomy. Okay. As always, it's yeah, pretty smoky and unhappy out there. Okay, adjust the HUD up. And I'm going to basically leave it on burner so that I can A, be nice and quick, and also cut down on the fuel. So, with it in autopilot, we should have to probably want to evade these guys. They have turned nasty on me before. Let's try and land over here. This is Paris, I believe, isn't it? Let me double check. Pretty sure it's Paris. Yeah, Paris. So this is this was found by Tractor. He's got his own YouTube channel, and he's a man who taught me how to fly the Viggen. So if I'm correct, Paris is here. One thing I've done too just turn off my radar warning gear. Won't regret that. The first part is the first 3 letters of the road base, so Paris, and the second part is going to be the runway heading, or the field heading. So we want B4. Let's see if I can B4. It's really hard to read these at the moment. I think it's because it's dawn, it's kind of weird things happening with filters. Like the radar at the moment will be super bloomy as well. Let's see if I can fix that. Yeah. So the radar is kind of funky too at the moment. So that's like a night filter, and I guess it's sort of halfway between night and day. Anyway, we're being told to fly this way. And yes, we're already building error, so this is good. We're flying over ocean too, which doesn't help the turn nav anyway, but that second digit there, well the last digit, the 1, says we've got about 1 kilometre of navigation error already. Now, we will just see if it is still on, and we'll know because it will try and refix our position. And if it does that, well then it should fix the location for us. In this mission, there isn't exactly a central fix point, but I guess what I've been doing is something I think actual Viggen pilots used to do. They would enter in a navigation fix at a certain waypoint placed just beyond the waypoint, just beyond the runway. The idea of that was that you would fix as you overflew an easy point and know that your navigation system was all lined up. Something's locking me, I think. Let's just see. That's an unfriendly kind of beeping, isn't it? Let's just make sure nothing's really tracking us. That's probably the, Rapier missile and whatnot. Well, I wasn't sure how much radar they really use. Anyway, bad things are happening up here. We're going to a more peaceful side of this. So yeah. Again, the mission's not loaded, so all the trucks and things and the convoys rushing in haven't appeared yet. I added rapiers nearby on the approaches to all the road bases, or most of them at least, just to give a bit of help in dealing with these guys. He appears to be unaffected. But also to, sort of, if you're fleeing and trying to hide from enemy aircraft, well, you've got an option. I might just lower the nose slightly. What do we think? Okay. So, it's pretty dark. It's not pitch black or anything, but one thing I've noticed is that you can get a little ring on the HUD if you put it into attack mode, especially if you have it in literally attack over here. So ANF is the mode you select to go from nav for navigation, ANF for attack. But if you have it here, even with any weapon load you have, you will get a little ring, and that acts as almost like the designated diamond in the Harrier. Now, we have a kilometer of error, which is making this less than useful. But what it can do is get you close enough to hopefully visually fix on the touchdown point, which would be those two white shipping containers, and refix and then come around and land again. And you may find that really useful, at least I do. I'll just try and make it a little less bloomy. Just playing with the HUD brightness here. I think bloomy's how it's going to have to be. Okay. What I will do, I'll just chuck these rockets somewhere unpleasant, just so we can ditch the weight. Let's pick this town here, and wow, that's really bloomed out. Let's just see if I can get it to come down a bit so it's not quite so bloomed. I guess not. Should go around safe. And can I fix this? Yeah, I think the lighting in the cockpit's need to be looked at here in a sec. Alright, we're going to land our rockets here. Again, we just wait for that. And pop, pop. Yeah, the ARACs are brilliant. They're my favourite weapon in the game. So I'm getting a little bit of instability. I might have trimmed myself poorly. But I'll ditch these tanks, and I'll ditch the weapons and whatnot. So we should have a pretty clean jet to make this landing just nice and neat. So what you want to do, like normally you'd be in landing nav mode, which you could also use, but as I said, we're not going to get tills or anything here. So we've got, at this stage, our error appears to have collapsed, but there will likely still be some error. Let's see if we can get on the radar. I'll just bring it out of this. I'll just play around with this a little bit. Yeah, we really can't use that filter at the moment. And we've got some terrain blocking our view, it seems. Yeah, it'll be a visual fix. So what you could do is on approach, so it's, you know, almost blind conditions, you could fly over at a safer altitude, so find the altitude of these hills and then, you know, navigate around them using the terrain avoidance mode, or just even reading the radar. You can kind of see where the terrain is coming up. But I'll show you now. We're going to put ourselves in fixed mode, so T1. You'll notice that our waypoint just went from B, so waypoint, to E. It's like as though we're entering information. And that will stop the waypoint from shifting automatically too. But what it will do is it should allow us to get nice and close to this waypoint. Now we can't fix while we're in air to ground mode, so that's a bit of a problem. So what we're going to do is look around that circle, see if we can't find the touchdown point. It should be around here somewhere. This looks pretty good. Now our heading would normally be 10 something, so we're going to just come around here, around the corner a bit. We should be able to spot two little shipping containers. There they are. Now I can see them, I'm guessing you can't, but I managed to spot them with my elf vision. Now what we want to do is line up on those as normal, as though we were going to land. There they are. There's a touchdown point. Now, if we compare, that's, there we go, I'll just pause here. That's the error. The system should have that dot exactly on there, but of course, over time, it's built up some error, and below a kilometer it just says 0, but that's the error you're fixing for. So this doesn't quite replace a precision approach that you'd normally do. Another factor that just strikes me now is London has a QFE of 965. And we're at 10,000 and something. So what I might actually do is not fix here. I'll do a quick loop. I'll change the QFE to be correct and see if that's going to be any good. So if the turn nav is working, which it appears to be, let's see how we go. Okay, we want to just get rid of the fixed mode and set out to 9 Paris. So 113 is all it should be. So 101. Don't mind me. 0.3. There we go. So So 10136. So it's just going to be slightly more towards 4. There we go. So now we'll just do a quick experiment and see how close that fixed point is. If it is close enough, then I guess maybe you can do precision landings. But I would, yeah, as evidenced here, definitely double check that your QFE is bang on. So we've sequenced over to waypoint 5. We'll sequence back to waypoint 4, and yeah. As you can see, the terrain around these bases can be quite gnarly, particularly when it comes to London, which is basically up in these mountains up here near the lakes. And yeah, good luck coming down without a good system. I've also found that the nav flare in the Harrier, certainly the one that projects on the HUD, is now much less helpful than it used to be. You can basically land just using that in pitch black, and I find it's now quite occluded and difficult, spongy and other weird adjectives. So coming around the corner now, we're going to put this thing on 10. What did we say it was? 106. Okay, that's alright. So we're at 90 degrees now, in close, and powering off. So let's just see how close this dot is to the waypoint. Probably a bit overshot actually. We should see a little circle coming up. Now that is right between the steering dot. Yeah, okay, so even that's actually pretty good. I would probably just add a bit of a margin of error and you could probably land on that. But what I'll show you here, come out of ground mode, press T1 to press into fixed mode. Here we go. Now I've got to really precisely, as we cross this threshold, 3, 2, 1, fix. And we've now fixed that waypoint. Now it has again sequenced to waypoint 5, but this should give us a more precise landing point. Anyway, I'll show you how this works. The big problem is, normally when you're in navigation modes, you get the angle of attack will come up here. I'll just show you quickly. Yeah, the fin will separate from the flight path marker and get you to fly the correct angle of attack. Unfortunately, we don't have that because we're landing in what is essentially an attack mode. We also kind of lack a flight path marker. So because the Viggen's kind of an older system, we have to sacrifice what we see to see other things. So it's all good. I'll show you how it works. Basically, on landing, your angle of attack can be quite flexible. You don't want it above 15 degrees. So we want to keep it between, in a very rough sense, we want an angle of attack of about 12 or so degrees. So about here-ish. 15 and 15.5 is kind of our max. We don't want to be above this. That's the backup landing mode to landing really short. I almost never use it because it's kind of hairy. You really want that needle, angle of attack, to be right in here. So, let's see if I can do it on film. Or will I gurk it up? So air brakes coming out, which, because they're Viggen air brakes, are kind of, you know, gentle decelerons rather than actual air brakes. But we should be right as we come round. Landing gear coming down. And now, we're going to line up on the heading, 106. Okay, angle of attack is building now because we're losing speed. And now I'm going to actually just, there we go. AOA's building up. That's what we want. Drop the HUD glass, it's also a good sign. And we'll hold this heading until our waypoint caret reaches 10. And then we'll turn in. And then, assuming we haven't made our fix even worse by doing it manually. Okay. The sun has just come up now and it is in exactly the wrong spot. Alright, so we're about 8 degrees of angle of attack, so we're not going to land at this AOA. Oh, we're going to arm the reverser too while we're here. Let's have that up and happening and not be reaching for it on landing. You also get the bars on the ADI to help you too, and that can be sort of more reliable than the HUD indicator, but don't confuse it with an ILS. We're not getting precision approach, we're getting, yeah, we're basically in bombing mode. Jury-rigging this whole thing. Okay, let's have a good look. Yeah, so the error is back again. I'm guessing that's, yeah, unavoidable really. Okay, so I'm offset quite a way. Honestly, I'd probably come around and do this again more safely, but we're on angle now. AOA is suddenly building up, and we'll get warnings too, so listen for those. We want to be above 10 degrees on landing. But more important than anything else is alignment. We do not... Oh, power lines there. Let's go a little bit more power. Okay, there's a slight bend in the road, bit of power now. AOA is basically where I want it. And powering up. Reversers are on, steering first, don't mind the rest. And hello there. Hey, who am I do? Okay. We did it. We landed in attack mode, which is as wrong as it sounds. So this is Paris. It's a bit out of the way. Most people don't really use it when they fly my mission, but it's here if you want it. It's sort of hidden away, and I think too, if you've got like a whole squadron of people flying and you try to load people out of the same FARP, it's going to be a really hard time. Just realised we had a massive crosswind the whole way in, so that wouldn't have helped too. Which we would have seen actually if we'd had it in landing mode. So if you can see your field, just use the landing PO mode, which is landing per ocular or per visual, and you'll have a much better time. As I said, thanks to Robert for finding this base. Found it quite early on when I was making this mission, and I really like it. It's got a good aesthetic to it, sort of in the forest and the towns, whereas the others are kind of one or the other. Reversing. Here we go. Now this is going to go badly because I have people watching, but we put the reverser on, brakes are on, and then we add a bit of power, and then we release the opposite brake, and it should... There we go. And then I'm going to chop the brake off. You use the brakes, not the steering, I find. There we go. A little bit of steering here. It's really hard because you don't have good rear visibility. I think we're good. Let's just give it a bit more bite. There we go. I don't want to run anyone over with the wing of our Viggen. Bringing off the power. Again, if possible, use thrust to stop your braking. Don't try and jump at the brakes while going backwards because your nose will go sky high. Yeah, there we go. So now we'll just put the... So while brake's on, pull that lever to get your parking brake. We'll add some weapons. ARAX. Fuel's fine for the moment.
Request rearming.
And we'll run the mission.
Copy.
I did say that I'd bomb something with you guys, or rocket something. Ugh. I need practice. This is still far and away my favourite module. I mean, people did such an amazing job with the Viggen. I remember I used to fly strike fighters, and that was the one mod I couldn't get. The one aircraft you couldn't fly in strike fighters was the Viggen. And when I heard it was coming to DCS, I was very excited. I've been a massive Viggen fanboy since the beginning. My dad had Saabs and used to drive us around in Saabs and talk about how he loved driving them. Bit of brakes on maybe. Let's see if I can get around this corner. It's just gonna... There's not really a high gain mode in the Viggen. It's just kind of using the brakes and the steering. And I'll show you how to fix on the way out too. So our fix before did something maybe, but it also could have, added some error. And we've got, 1 kilometer of fix error, which we should see through here in a second. But the good news is we're going to be nice and close to our fix point. And on takeoff, we just fix as we go. So again, we take off in nav mode. I should warn, don't switch to Periscope or Burr, which is your standby mode down here. If you do that, the jet's going to try and find a runway heading based off where you take off from, and it's going to really you're going to get nav assist warnings and have a bad time. Notice the waypoint is offset to the right, so we definitely have that error. That error is just accrued itself while we've been sitting here or maybe on landing, but it's not happy. So we've got to fix that error. Otherwise our waypoints will be off, everything will be off. So we're in nav mode. Radar's off, power's good. Okay, as we power up, we'll take off. As we pass those white shipping containers, we will fix. Power on. With Paris, watch the power lines at the end too. They can be a bit hairy. Okay, fix mode on. And getting a bit of power now. Up we go. Fix. We definitely have a crosswind. Okay, gear up. Yeah, these are a problem. These phone lines. And yeah, on takeoff I keep it nice and low to really reduce the stress on the, you try and pull up and everything else. You find the Viggen kind of wallows a bit and the AOA builds and you hear that beeping as the engine starts to cough. We should have targets coming in soon over the system. When they do, we'll add them as BX waypoints. So waypoint 5 I think is Gali. Yes. So Gali being our target. It's kind of cool that we switch straight from waypoint to landing point to target point. Yeah, that's all happy. Make sure we're in attack mode still. So we got our rockets back, so now attack mode actually means attack mode and not kind of improvised landing mode. But I have done it with poor visibility and managed to get it down. I think I had 500 meters of visibility, which I guess is not, too scary, but it's not too good either. And yeah, I found a few passes and I could find the base. Oh, there we go. Autopilot on. Let's go. Now remember, we read longitude, then latitude. So 415105423457 BX1. We now have a waypoint to track to. BX1. Cool. So now we're going to hit that bridge. Now it's a 400 foot altitude. That's not much good to us here in the Viggen, but if we compare the altitudes between, say, Gali, it should be similar. So we'll use the same QFE. So 10, what am I doing? 1025.8, so 1026, let's be honest. There we go. That should be a pretty decent QFE for that target. There'll be a slight error, but that's okay. We're using the rockets and the radar ranging will do most of the work for us anyway. I'm going to just spawn some fighters too because, yeah, there we go. So if you set it to easy, the next 20 seconds are going to be like spoilerific, but if you stick it to easy, you will get MiG-19s, which, despite calling them easy, are actually pretty deadly up close. I have no issues killing them in my Viggen here, usually. Just a bit of power and just energy fight them, but do it quickly. But the in the Harrier, I really struggle. I can kill one, but two, as the energy drops down, they just drop down and shoot you. So the MiG-19 is not too bad to fight against. I should confess that it's the module that I struggled the most to really get into. I'd like to like it more, but I just find it really hard. The tutorials are kind of cringy and unhelpful. I think our other road base is down here somewhere too, between the two lakes, so maybe it's over there or something. I suppose I could check with the waypoint settings. Yeah, well that's the point, right? They're hard to find. I think it's in there somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, they're hard for a reconnaissance aircraft to find. Let's just see if we've got that bridge in the right spot. We're still 40. How far are we? 50. Yeah, so tens of kilometers here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 45. Yeah, 40 k's off. Just for, I mean, there's other videos that show this, but this is a bit weird. This is your distance to waypoint. When it says miles, it doesn't actually mean like nautical miles or even just, proper miles. It means Swedish miles. The idea behind that is that they're 10 times, like it's 10 kilometers. So it's like a dekilometer. Anyway, it's weird. Our target should be visible now. And actually, there's an indicator for you. We still have very little error. That waypoint, we know it's hitting a bridge, so it should be up on the river. So what you could do is, check this out. You could, try to get the camera view that'll work for this. You can kind of move the QFE setting and kind of fix it. So that should be where it should be, right there. So, in fact, London's probably a bit closer to the right. Sorry, Dallas, probably a bit closer to the right location. 2.5, yeah. It's a funny sort of thing, but I guess the altitude, yeah. So you can, you know, in real time, see that targeting reticle change. Okay. Now, because we're Viggens, we should be showing off and none of this gentle autopilot cruise in. Let's safed our stick. I'm a bit funny. I attack bridges not exactly down the span, but from a 10 to 20 degree offset and angle, I should say. And that maximizes my chance to hit the structure of the bridge. Any more, and it's kind of, your bridge target becomes too small. Any less, and yeah, error compounds. So it should be over there somewhere. Yeah, I can see the bridge. Again, I think my anastrophic anti-aliasing, that's what it's called, maybe not, is not really coming through on YouTube. So now this is a bit of a shallow attack. I'd kind of rather be, yeah, look at that, beautiful. And I've gurked this up, but let's see if that's going to be even close to a hit. Yeah, I think that's a hit. Let's just, as we rocket around, pull in mad G's. Did we cut the bridge in half? I think we did. No, bridge is still standing. I find they do kind of burn down, but that was not a good shot. Cool. Again, I'm going to show off the road-based landing system as well. So, waypoint 1 is where we want to land. I'm going to come past and I'm going to fix it. Again, it's pretty messy down here in Zigdidi. It's not a great day to be a resident of Zigdidi. And let's just set our QFE. You don't really have to worry so much about QFE. I'm just doing it because I'm probably just showing off, aren't I? Yeah, so we've got a bit of error here. So pausing. See, that's the error. And it says we've got no error here and that it's still trying to fix that error, but we're going to do it manually, I think. We might see it just jump suddenly to the right position, but maybe not. And no, we're going to fix it ourselves. And 3, 2, 1. Good fix. I'm also going to use the road-based landing system, so I'll get clear of all that. And it won't turn back because we're still too close to the waypoint. Come on, thank you. We've got a friendly rapier up here to help us out if any MiGs try to bounce us. We should get some warnings too if MiGs are entering the AO, just to give chopper pilots and Harrier pilots and anyone not flying the Viggen a chance to escape. Alright. Cutting the power. RBLS on. Cool. And we'll drop our flaps. I'll keep the fuel tank as well and the rocket pods. Now for this base, Dallas, we want to be 028. Now I got this pretty much bang on with the Harrier. I guess I'm really just testing it now to see if it's right. And as always, trust in the flares and what the message is. If it's saying to wave off, I wonder what's happened here. RBLS on. Let's see if it wave off. Why is it waving us off? I wonder if I've gurked up one of the triggers. It probably still will give us commands actually. I've had it do this before. Alright, well we should be on heading now. Yeah. Got that one on. There are our flares there as our touchdown point. As you see, we're still off angle. I think we're already closer to 30 for this thing. Where it's hard is my own inept flying could have meant that the compass is kind of gurked up in the Viggen. But the sun's hitting those two shipping containers, so not really. There we go. And so I'll just put it in PO, because that's going to give me the AOA to fly a really precise and proper approach. Again, if you want to use the advanced landing mode, A15, the 15.5 degrees, you can, but it's just scary, man. It's less sort of precision. You stop shorter, but none of my bases require it. You should be able to put them down no matter what. Okay, Delta's now giving us those vortexes and keeping us in the air. Now you just got to keep that AOA right where it's supposed to be and pretty much not flare it. I'll have to fix that. Normally you get landing flares, and you should just trust them above anything else. You're going to have a better system with that than your own systems. A new target. We will enter that in and hit it shortly, but not before we've landed. And plunk. Hear the roar, add the power. So once you hear the roar of the wind going past your canopy, that's the engine reverser saying, you know, I'm on. And we stop nicely. And I use the, on the Warthog throttle, on the left throttle there's like a switch that goes, you know, forward and back, usually for external lighting. I use that as my reverser. It's quite intuitive and quite quick. I can sort of reach for it and find it. Would recommend that you do the same. Yeah, got some error still. Now, slightly concerning is that this base, again, spoilers abound, this base does get bombed, so we might actually want to not be here. So I'll make my rearming nice and quick. That gives me that. Oh, before I do anything, let's just, yeah, reverser on. See if I can do a better job of this one. What do you reckon? There we go, let's bring it round. Come on. Oh, that did it. Yeah, no, I've really goked it up this time. I think I'm in the grass of doom. No. And I'm battered. Yeah. This is why I wish I'd recorded the times when I... Let's just try that again. Oh, don't hit the guys on the ground. Ooh. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I think I did. Yeah, I put a wing through a soldier that was an M4. Okay, well, assuming we're not stuffed. We are refueling. I'll get a bit of fuel. Not much, though. And I might... Yeah, I'll keep it rockets just for now. So, we had 90 seconds to input those waypoints, but it wasn't quite enough. It looks like we did nail that bridge. We'll tell you what would be a good target. It would be the target right here. We'll keep the old target point BX1, and we'll rocket in, and rocket in. If they're not going to move, they're going to get smashed up. Come from that sort of angle. What's this down here? Well, this tank's on his way back home. He's just like, I'm out of here, man. This whole thing's just boring me. Let's add a bit of time, get our fuel back. That's fuel. Should have weapons soon. This should update when we have weapons. Yes, I too would like to fly a combat jet with the same systems as the space shuttle, not the space shuttle, the Apollo landers. Once again, the actual takeoff run begins more at the watchtower, but we can be cheeky and do this if we like. Make sure our Luftbroms, our air brakes are in. Crosswind again. I shouldn't set dynamic weather, should I? And a quick fix as we pass over. Fix. Gear up. Now, if we reference BX1 again, that will be close enough to hit the convoy. High-speed bogies entering Gali region. Ooh. They sound like MiG-19s. Kind of an appropriate threat, I guess, for the Viggen. I mean, I suppose the MiG-23 probably a more reasonable threat, but... Let's get these rockets on target nice and quick, and then we'll see if I can kill MiG-19s. My air-to-air loadout's a bit different in this thing. I carry the center line, the inner pylon sidewinders that are all aspect and super deadly, so I may have to flee the battle. You guys will watch my fuel, won't you? Okay, so that bridge is over there. That's our target. That's concurrent. Alright, let's go nice and high. We'll do a bit of a weird Viggen run. Switch is safe. Attack is set. And I might just turn this on because we're getting a bit close to threats. Apologies for the orchestra. So we know that they're sort of in that foresty bit there. Foresty being a verb that, or an adjective that I now use. Okay. Now, our intel is a couple of minutes old, but I'm going to assume that they're still there and just hit that target point. And then I'm going to shoot down some MiGs and go home. I'm also not the best dogfighter. Something's fired at us. No smoke visible yet. That didn't feel quite as accurate as normal. Oh, that's a missile. Yeah, I see him. That's a SA-3. I was saying that they're actually a bit hairier down low than a SA-2. There should be some AAA coming up at us now, so let's just keep ourselves moving. Actually, I don't mind that at all. Bombers attacking Zudidi. I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. They're actually heading for our road base. Cheat a little bit and see what we got. Yeah, it did some damage, I suppose. Where are those MiGs anyway? Oh yeah, coming over towards the base. Let's get some height, and then we'll just check on this target. Let's see how we went. We really did damage something quite badly. Yeah, rockets seem to hit the trees more than anything else, which is a problem. Say no more. Hey, we got the Shulker, right? No, apparently... Well, that Shulker's dead, but this Shulker's totally okay. I'm guessing they would have been pretty well fragged, but, you know, what can you do? Okay, let's cut the autopilot off. Okay, now we do have proper... we do have the frequencies to actually do air-to-air intercepts and things. 251 being the standard. As you can see, I'm struggling a bit with this because it doesn't want to help. Let's see if I can get...
Bra, 238 for 18 at 5,000 flanking.
238 for 18. Now, I also don't really use the radar in this for air-to-air combat because it's... yeah. It's not really that helpful. So we're going to use that AWACS. He'll hopefully tell us when we're in close. I'm pretty sure that they can't shoot us. I'm going to cheat a bit to use F5 maybe. But I'm pretty sure they can't shoot us from the front with their missiles. Oh, they're heading more towards Poti. I got in trouble for calling it Potty the other day. So, let's get their height. And because we are flying in kilometers and I haven't got this set properly, so they're 10,000 and these guys are at about half our altitude. So we'll just descend to 1500. And a bit of time acceleration so you guys don't get too bored, because I can't really edit videos because I'm a numpty. Alright, let's see if we can spot these MiGs. They should have come more towards Senaki Kolki. I'm sort of being my own AWACS here, hope you guys don't mind. Oh, super cool. So you got your Sidewinder mode, bound. It's annoying even me. You can get a bore sight. You can get a uncaged mode, which is super good and allows you to get really precise shots. So use it, love it. Tell your friends. And where's this bandit? Right over Senaki Kolki apparently. So we should be actually lower than them now. 1500, about co-alt. So we should be able to see bandits over here somewhere. And where are you? I feel like I'm playing Phasmagoria. Are you young or old? What's your name? I think it's eating the sun. They've passed just south, and just to confirm, their height is 5,000 feet, just a little bit above me. My radar's off, I might be able to even stealthily kill these guys. There's the runway, they should be just here. My vision is not great. One of you guys has seen it. I'm going to cheat and use F5 because I'm here with you guys and I'm wasting your time trying to find these MiGs. And yeah, they're following the river now. Okay, power on. We're actually pretty low on fuel. We may even divert to Paris again. But it would be really cool to kill some MiGs with you guys. They're moving pretty fast too. I found this too. The MiGs really do hold their speed quite nicely, the MiG-19. I mean, it's got 2 engines to do it, so in a single engine airframe. So it's kind of a... Oh, they just turned on us. Okay, let's get them. Fuel's getting a bit low, so I don't want to really do too many turns. That's just the sun. Don't get excited. Okay, on the nose now, Bandit. Just pretend that I had Puck or someone doing my GCI, and he just took me right onto them. So they're heading towards Dublin. Won't be long. So their speed is 470. Oh, actually they're faster than me. Alright, go to burners. Yeah, we're getting fuel warnings. Alright, look, the smart one in me is going to say we should go home. Oh, but we're right over the base. There he is. Let's see the smoke. Power on. We're going to kill a MiG. I don't see his friend though, which is kind of distressing. Let's press that uncage. Need to get closer anyway. The fact that I can't see his friend is concerning me. This is sort of how, you know, those episodes of Dogfight kind of go. Fox 2 at max range. I need to kill this guy. He needs to be dead. There we go. Now cheat again. Okay, he's turning on me. Now we need to fight him quickly, so we're going to use our burners. Let him slip underneath us. Oh, I just lost him. There he is. He's turned away from us, which is... Oh, I lost him in the ground. Oh, I'm going to be a dirty cheater and use the F5 button because I'm scared. Where are you? There he is. Fox 2. And basically going to have to land straight away. Pop. Cool. So yeah, the Viggens are no worries for the... so the F-19s are no worries for the Viggen. Let's set to waypoint 2. Should be not far from here actually. Should be a waypoint we can land at. So that's how the mission kind of runs. You hit targets and then duck for cover again. 216, it seems. We're actually bang on heading, look at that. So if we can get that RBLS happening, because that could be really useful here. On. Flares are armed. And we'll get ourselves out of this mode, put ourselves into this mode, put ourselves into this mode. Come left. Always trust in the beautiful system to get you home. 4 miles, come left. You're saying come left again, I can see the touchdown point. Really happy with how this this flare system works. Like it's everything I could ever have dreamed of. Besides actual ILS blades guiding us in. And we need that. Arming the reverser. Yes, I know I'm coming left, I can see it. I'm sort of nagging myself because I wrote all those triggers. And I may even start voicing them if my voice isn't too annoying for you all. There we go, we should be lined up, should get a white flare now. Saying, yep, you're all good and groovy. Cool. AOA is right where we want it. Versus on, we're super light because, yeah, we go. White flare, you're on the money. And I mean, if it does wave you off, you probably should listen to what it's saying. there might be a really good reason for it. Usually it's like your alignment's off by 20 degrees and you're about here. It's like, well, it's not going to be a good landing no matter how good you think you are. And always go long if you have to. It's not the end of the world. It's more important that your alignment is good. Like I barely had to even touch the brakes to align with that. Cool. Alright, I will taxi over and get some fuel and weapons, but I'll cut the recording in just a sec, so yeah. But thank you for joining me. That's how the road base works for the Viggen. I will also show you guys how to land with the Hornet. The Hornet's got good systems like the Harrier, and the INS is almost as fully implemented, but it's harder because you need to brake pretty urgently to land, and yeah, it's harder to land in the Hornet. I wish we had the arresting wires like the Finns do. Cool. Alright. A quick photo. Thanks for joining me. Catch you next time. Bye.